All right, so today we're going to be diving into BitLocker. That's your shield against data nightmares, right?
Yeah.
Especially if your device decides to go on a little vacation without you.
Oh, yeah.
We're basing this whole deep dive on a YouTube video by Jonathan Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Microsoft 365 guru.
Yeah, he's great.
And he shared a story
Okay.
about someone's selling their old computers online
Oh, geez.
with all their data still on there.
Yeah.
Talk about a data security horror story, right?
Yeah, that's why data encryption is so important these days. It's like having this, uncrackable safe for your whole digital life.
Okay.
You know?
So walk me through this.
Yeah.
What exactly is BitLocker, and why should I be hitting that install button?
Well, BitLocker, it's a built-in Windows feature that basically scrambles all your data into this unreadable gibberish.
Oh, wow.
Unless you have the decryption key.
Oh, okay.
Right. And it's super crucial if you're, working remotely, traveling with sensitive data, or just, want that peace of mind knowing your information is locked down,
Like turning your data into a secret language that only you can understand, right?
Exactly. And so if your device falls into the wrong hands, BitLocker makes that data totally useless to them.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. But how does this digital fortress work? What's the tech behind it?
Well, the key to it all is a tiny little chip that's inside your computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the TPM. That stands for Trusted Platform Module.
Okay.
It's like a miniature vault that stores that decryption key for your entire drive.
So even if someone rips out the hard drive, they're still locked out.
That's the beauty of it.
That's pretty impressive.
But, there's always a catch.
Oh, there's always a catch. Okay.
Your computer needs a TPM chip. Version 1.2 or later.
Okay.
And Windows 11, they've bumped up that requirement to version 2.0.
Oh, okay.
So make sure to check your system before diving in.
Good point. Now, let's say I'm an IT pro handling a whole fleet of devices. How do I even begin to set up BitLocker for everyone? And what's this Intune thing I keep hearing about?
Well, Intune is a lifesaver for anyone in IT. It's a cloud-based service. It's from Microsoft.
Okay.
And it helps you manage devices and applications remotely. So imagine if you were trying to manually configure BitLocker on hundreds of computers. A total nightmare.
Yeah, that sounds like a real headache.
Oh, yeah. Intune, it lets you just push out BitLocker policies silently.
Okay.
So users, they don't even know it's happening.
It's like magic.
It just works in the background.
Yeah.
Keeps their data secure.
Yeah.
No annoying pop-ups, no interruptions.
So it's like having a silent guardian for all your company devices.
Precisely.
Yeah, I like it.
And when it comes to setting up those policies, you've got some choices to make. Do you want to encrypt the whole drive or just the space that's actually being used?
Okay, so it's kind of like deciding whether to lock every single drawer in a file cabinet.
Exactly.
Or just the ones that actually have files in them.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a good analogy. So what are the trade-offs there?
Well, full disk encryption, that's the Fort Knox approach. Maximum security.
Right.
It encrypts everything, even the empty space.
Okay.
So there's absolutely no room for data to leak out.
I see, yeah.
But it can take a bit longer to encrypt.
Okay.
Use space-only encryption. That's faster, more efficient.
Yeah.
But theoretically, someone could still try to recover data that's been deleted. So it's kind of a balancing act between speed and security.
I see.
Yeah.
Decisions.
Yeah.
Jonathan also mentioned something about adding an extra layer of security.
Oh, yeah.
With a PIN-in at startup.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something worth considering?
Absolutely, especially for devices that have, really sensitive data. Yeah. It means that even if someone bypasses that TPM chip, they still need that PIN to actually access anything. Double the security.
Gotcha.
Double the peace of mind.
Sounds like a pretty solid plan.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's got to be a downside, right?
Okay.
Especially for the IT team.
Yeah.
Like more passwords to manage or...
You hit the nail right on the head.
Oh, okay.
Having to manually enter pins on every device.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for inefficiency. especially if you're managing a huge fleet of computers.
Right.
So, it's something to weigh carefully.
Yeah.
That extra security versus that added burden
Okay.
on the IT folks.
So let's say I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and create a BitLocker policy in Intune.
Right.
What are the key settings I need to really understand?
Well, first up, you got to choose your encryption method.
Okay.
You've got AES 128-bit or the even more robust AES 256-bit. Think of those as like different levels of encryption strength. The higher the number, the harder it is to crack.
So AES 256-bit is like the encryption equivalent of a bank vault door.
You got it. Next, you need to decide where you want to store those crucial recovery keys.
Okay.
Azure Active Directory is a great option.
All right.
It's super secure, and it's easy to manage.
Oh, okay.
This is like your master key ring.
Right.
Ensuring you can unlock a device even if the user forgets their PIN or the hard drive decides to take an unexpected vacation.
Makes sense. I'm guessing this also helps with that whole like rotating BitLocker keys thing Jonathan mentioned.
Exactly.
It's like changing the locks on your vault every so often.
Precisely. You can rotate keys within Intune to keep things extra secure.
Gotcha.
And speaking of keeping things secure, it's crucial to regularly check the encryption status of all your devices.
So that's like a routine health check.
Exactly.
Make sure BitLocker is active and doing its job.
Exactly.
All right. So regular checkups are key. But what about Windows 11 users?
Oh, okay.
I heard there's something even more powerful than BitLocker lurking within their operating system.
Right.
Something called personal data encryption. Fill us in.
You heard right. Personal data encryption, or we call it PDE.
Okay.
It's like BitLocker's superpowered cousin.
Okay.
It takes data protection to a whole new level.
Okay. I'm officially hooked. Tell me more.
Okay.
How does PDE differ from a regular BitLocker?
All right. So imagine this. You've got BitLocker, right? Encrypting your whole drive, which is great. But what if someone manages to boot up your computer with just BitLocker alone?
Right.
They might still be able to access certain system files.
Okay. I see where you're going with this.
That's where PDE steps in. It adds another layer of protection.
Gotcha.
By encrypting your personal data until you, the user, sign in with Windows Hello for Business.
Okay.
So that means your files, they stay locked down, even if someone bypasses that initial boot up.
So it's like having a personal bodyguard for my data, right?
Yeah.
Only letting it out when I show up with the right credentials, my face, my fingerprint, my PIN. It's like a super secure VIP pass.
Exactly. It's all about making sure that only the authorized user can access their own stuff.
Okay.
PDE basically takes BitLocker's encryption and adds that extra layer of user-specific protection.
Now, that's what I call peace of mind.
Yeah.
But let's back up a sec. We've talked a lot about, the theory of BitLocker.
Right.
But how about some practical tips?
Okay.
Jonathan showed us how to actually check BitLocker status on a Windows 11 PC.
Yeah.
And find those all-important recovery keys in Intune. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. Checking your BitLocker status is super simple. You just go to your Windows search bar, type in BitLocker, and click on Manage BitLocker.
Sure.
You'll see a screen pop up. It'll show you if BitLocker's on and if it's being managed by your system administrator.
Got it. So if I see Intune in the mix, that means everything is good to go.
You got it. Now, those recovery keys, those are like your lifeline.
Okay.
If you ever need to unlock your drive.
Right.
To find those, head to your Intune portal.
Okay.
Find the specific device you're looking for.
Okay.
And click on the recovery keys section.
Okay.
You'll see the key ID and the actual recovery key for that machine.
So it's all neatly tucked away in Intune, ready for action if needed. That's reassuring.
It is. And remember that rotate BitLocker key option. If you're ever worried about a key being compromised, you can easily rotate it within Intune.
Okay.
It's like changing the locks on your data vault.
Right.
Adding that extra layer of protection.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Now, let's zoom out a bit. Talk about the bigger picture. Why should our listeners, whether they're tech savvy or not, care about all this BitLocker and data encryption stuff? What's the real world impact?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
In a world where data breaches are becoming, more and more common.
Oh yeah.
Protecting your information is no longer a a luxury. It's a necessity.
It's a necessity. Yeah.
Think about all the sensitive stuff on your computer, right?
Yeah.
Financial records, personal documents, photos, even your browsing history.
Right.
In the wrong hands, it could be disastrous.
It's scary to think about, but you're right. It's the reality we live in.
It is. But the good news is, BitLocker offers a robust and surprisingly easy to use solution.
Right.
With the right settings and management through Intune, you can have it silently protecting your data without any hassle.
So it's like having an invisible security guard, constantly working to keep your information safe.
Precisely. And that brings us to a crucial point that Jonathan made in his video. No matter how secure your system is, it's essential to be prepared for the worst case scenario. That's where those recovery keys come in.
Right, yeah.
They're like a safety net. Ensuring you can access your data. Even if something goes wrong.
I'm sensing a theme here. Those recovery keys are pretty important.
They're absolutely critical. Think of them as your backup plan, your insurance policy in the world of data encryption.
Okay. So we've talked about why data encryption is so important, how BitLocker works its magic behind the scenes, and how you can manage it effectively, whether you're an IT pro or just someone who cares about keeping their data safe. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. Now that you've learned about the power of BitLocker and how it can safeguard your data, we challenge you to take a look at your own digital life. Think about the devices you use every day, your laptop, your phone, your tablet. What steps could you take right now to strengthen your data security?
Maybe it's enabling BitLocker, setting up a strong password, or finally taking the plunge with a password manager.
Or perhaps it's exploring some more advanced options like personal data encryption for even more robust protection.
Yeah, the key is to be proactive, not reactive.
Don't wait for a data disaster to strike before taking action.
Take control of your digital security today and enjoy that peace of mind knowing your valuable information is truly protected.
Remember, in the world of data, knowledge is power.
And with the right tools and a little bit of effort, you can become your own data defender.
That's it for our deep dive into BitLocker. We hope you found it insightful and empowering.
Absolutely.
And if you have any questions or want us to explore some other fascinating topics,
feel free to reach out.
We're always here to help you navigate the ever-revolving world of tech and data security.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious. Stay informed.
And stay secure. You heard right. Personal data encryption, PDE. It's like BitLocker's superpowered cousin, Takes data protection to a whole new level.
Okay, I'm officially hooked. Tell me more. How's PDE different from regular BitLocker?
Okay, so imagine this, right? You got BitLocker encrypting your whole drive, which is great. But what if someone manages to boot up your computer? With just BitLocker alone, they might still be able to get into certain system files.
Okay, yeah.
I see where you're going with this.
That's where PDE comes in.
Yeah.
It adds this extra layer of protection.
Okay. By encrypting your personal data until you, the user, sign in with Windows Hello for Business.
Okay.
Right. So that means your files, they stay locked down tight.
Yeah.
Even if someone gets past that initial boot up.
So it's like having a personal bodyguard for my data, right?
Right.
Only letting it out when I show up with the right credentials.
Yeah.
My face, my fingerprint, my PIN. It's like a super secure VIP pass.
Exactly. It's all about making sure that only the authorized user can get at their own stuff.
Right.
So PDE takes BitLocker's encryption and adds that extra user-specific protection.
Now that's what I call peace of mind. But let's back up for a sec. We've talked a lot about the theory of BitLocker. Right? How about some practical tips?
Sure.
Jonathan showed us how to actually check BitLocker's status on a Windows 11 PC and find those all important recovery keys in Intune. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. Checking your BitLocker status is super simple. All you got to do is go to your Windows search bar.
Okay.
Type in BitLocker and click on Manage BitLocker.
Okay.
And you'll see a screen pop up showing you if BitLocker's on and if it's being managed by your system administrator, which is Intune, working its magic in the background.
Gotcha. So if I see Intune in the mix, that means everything is good to go.
You got it. Now, those recovery keys, those are your lifeline.
Yeah.
If you ever need to unlock your drive to find them, head to your Intune portal.
Okay.
Find the specific device that you're looking for.
Okay.
And click on the recovery keys section.
Okay.
And you'll see the key ID and the actual recovery key for that machine.
So it's all neatly tucked away in Intune, ready for action if needed. That's reassuring.
It is. And remember that rotate BitLocker key option we were talking about? If you're ever worried about a key being compromised, you can just, rotate it easily within Intune. Oh, okay. It's like changing the locks on your data vault.
Right.
Adds that extra layer of protection.
Smart move. Now let's zoom out a little bit. Talk about the bigger picture here. Why should our listeners, whether they're tech savvy or not, care about all this BitLocker and data encryption stuff? What's the real world impact of all of this?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah.
In a world where data breaches are becoming more and more common, protecting your information is no longer, a luxury. It's a necessity.
It's a necessity.
Think about all the sensitive stuff you have on your computer.
Oh, yeah.
Financial records, personal documents, photos, even your browsing history. In the wrong hands, it could be, disastrous.
It's scary to think about, but you're right. It's the reality that we live in these days.
It is. But here's the good news. BitLocker offers this really robust and surprisingly easy to use solution.
Yeah.
And with the right settings and management through Intune, you can have it, silently protecting your data without any hassle.
So it's like having an invisible security guard constantly working to keep your information safe.
Precisely. And that brings us to a crucial point that Jonathan made in his video. No matter how secure your system is, it's essential to be prepared.
Right.
For the worst case scenario.
Okay.
That's where those recovery keys come in. They're like your safety net.
Right.
Ensuring that you can access your data.
Yeah.
Even if something goes wrong.
I'm sensing a theme here. Those recovery keys are pretty important.
They're absolutely critical. Think of them as your backup plan.
Okay.
Your insurance policy in the world of data encryption.
So we've talked about why data encryption is so important and how BitLocker works. It's magic behind the scenes.
Right.
How you can manage it effectively, whether you're an IT pro or just someone who cares about keeping their data safe. But what does all this mean for our listeners who aren't IT professionals? What can they do to protect their own data?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Even if you're not an IT guru, there are simple steps you can take.
All right, I'm all ears. Give us the insider tips.
First, make sure BitLocker is turned on. It's often enabled by default on newer Windows machines. But it's worth double checking.
Okay.
Just go to that manage BitLocker screen and see what's up.
Easy enough. What else?
If you're using a personal device, think about using a strong password.
Okay.
Or even better, a PIN or a biometric login.
Right.
Like Windows. Hello.
Okay.
It adds that extra layer of protection in case your device is lost or stolen.
Good point.
Right.
What about those recovery keys? What's the best way to handle those for someone who's not managing like a whole fleet of devices?
That's a crucial question. Microsoft actually gives you a few options.
Okay.
You can save your recovery key to your Microsoft account. You can print it out, save it to a file, or even store it on a USB drive. Just make sure it's, somewhere safe and accessible.
Right.
If you ever need it.
Okay. So multiple options, but the key is to keep it secure and easy to find.
Right.
If disaster strikes.
Exactly.
And here's a bonus tip. Consider using a password manager.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are lifesavers in this age of digital overload.
They are. They take all the stress out of remembering a million different passwords.
Right.
And help you stay secure online.
Okay, so even if you're not an IT expert, there are plenty of simple but effective ways to protect your data. right? It's all about taking those first steps and forming good security habits.
You got it. Every little bit helps.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into BitLocker. We've learned why it's so crucial in today's, digital world, how it works behind the scenes, and how you can manage it effectively, whether you're an IT pro or just, somebody who wants to keep their data safe.
Right.
But before we wrap up, I'm going to leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder. So now that you know about BitLocker, we challenge you to really look at your own digital life.
Yeah.
Think about all the devices that you use like every single day. Your laptop, your phone, your tablet. What steps could you take like right now to strengthen your data security?
Well, maybe it's enabling BitLocker. Or setting up a really strong password.
Right.
Or finally taking the plunge and using a password manager.
Right, yeah. Or maybe it's even exploring some of those more advanced options like personal data encryption for even stronger protection,
The key is to be proactive, not reactive.
Right, yeah. Don't wait for a data disaster to happen.
Right.
Before you take action. Take control of your digital security today.
Right.
And enjoy that peace of mind, knowing that your valuable information is really protected.
Absolutely.
Remember, in the world of data, knowledge is power.
And with the right tools and a little bit of effort, you can become your own data defender.
That's it for our deep dive into BitLocker. We hope you found it insightful.
Absolutely.
And empowering. And if you have any questions or you want us to explore other fascinating topics,
yeah, free to reach out.
We're always here to help you navigate this ever evolving world of tech and data security.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed,
and stay secure.